Good morning, family. My name's Gwen, and I'm an addict. Thank you for trusting me with this last topic. And when you asked me to do this, I jumped off. I prayed. I called someone. I grabbed my books. I centered myself because I can talk. I love the sound of my own voice. So I wanted to make sure to stay on topic. Like I said earlier, I have a little over 29 years, and when I got clean. I I didn't want to lose my kids because my mom said she was going to take them, and so I decided to get clean. Um, and I've been clean ever since. Relapse is not part of my okay. Physical relapse is not part of my recovery. Disease behavior, yeah, that I've relapsed on that several times, but I think we all do. Now, one of the things that I was taught when I got here was to, if I'm not understanding something or if I need to get centered, is to look up a word. In my day, we had to actually grab the dictionary off the shelf. Google is great, because I am older than Google. So, buried means to cover or conceal, and planted is to put somewhere for growth. And I was put into this program from my higher power for growth. Um, Now, have I always done it with style and grace? No. Um, and to get growth, we need to be grounded, and that just with a connection. And the biggest thing I've got from NA is that connection, that the connection with someone who is hurting or broken or on the same level as I am. Now, I mean, I can tell you every cliche that's ever been said in this program because, and just there are things that are tried and true, like keep coming back. This too shall pass. You don't have to get loaded unless you choose to. All those things. But for me, I am I am trying to just be the best me I can today. So when I got here, I had two kids and I would walk to meetings. I've heard a lot of things today from everybody that was part of my story. I was not a high school graduate. I did graduate. The day I took 2 years clean is the day I graduated from high school. Diploma, walked and everything, and it was great. Um, and when I first got here, I I learned how to plant myself and get my foundation. And when you plant something, you have to toll the soil, and you got to get it right, and you got to do this and you got to do that. So for me, my foundation or my soil was one, two, and three. I had to become accept my powerlessness, um, accept that my higher power had me, and that and for step three that he or she would not allow me to go astray as long as I believed that that power would get me where I needed to go. So for me, those were the hardest steps: being powerless, accepting something else better than me, and allowing that power to help. And then knowing that when I looked at myself, if I had that foundation going, I would be okay. Um, and that if that foundation stayed grounded or cohesive, that no matter what I went through, I'd be okay. Have I always remembered that in recovery? No. Uh, you know, um, I liked to bury. There was a lot of things that I buried in my recovery. I got clean at a very young age. I was 21 when I got clean, and no, I didn't use for a very long time. But they don't give awards for being stupid longer. And I am an addict because I say I am. Addict behavior happens way before the use of the first drug. And I truly believe that. And my first drug of choice was food and people pleasing and codependency. The list goes on and on. But drug use is just one symptom of that disease because my disease lives in my head and it was always with me. So I try to cover and bury by being happy, cheery, go lucky. And then when I finally started working on self for the one, two, and three, and then did step four, um, I started to sprout. I started to peek out through that soil and to to start to grow. And instead of burying myself, I was able just to plant myself in the moment and learn a lot of great things about myself. My first two set of steps were amazing and wonderful. Um, and partway through my recovery, about 3 years after I did my second set of steps, like 5 or 6 years clean, my husband at the time, my second husband, had gotten loaded. Um, was on my I was on four kids now, all girl, well, plus my bonus daughter, five girls, and trying to live life. And when he imploded my world, which I allowed in some areas, I got buried again because I tried to try to. It wasn't about me growing. I started to wilt and die. I didn't plant myself. I had actually ripped myself out of the ground and tried and buried me in, you know, oil. I mean, I was not growing. I was trying to fix him so I could fix the kids, so I could fix everything else. And then um, it didn't happen. So I surrendered. I let go. And then I went and uh, found me again and I started planning myself. And then in 2003, well, 2002, October 2002, my second husband came to me and told me that he had cancer and he was dying. He was 32 years of age. I had to tell my 9 and 12-year-old that their father was dying. Um, and then, and within 3 months, he was gone. So there I go, pulling myself out again, and I buried me past anything I could even think of. I had to fix the girls, I had to fix the kids, I had to make them better, I had to make them this, I had to make them that. And I started to come out of that a little bit. Literally, it was a year and a half later, after I had left the second husband. Um, I got the call that that one last time using, that one last relapse, he didn't make it back from. And now I had to tell a now 13 and 10-year-old who lost a stepfather, and my stepdaughter who was in her 20s, and then my 5 and not even 2-year-old that they won't see a parent. So that was fun. And I completely lost myself. I didn't feel anything. I fixed my kids. Actually, I broke them. I didn't do it right. At that time, both my parents were still alive, and I got lost. I was still clean. I was physically clean. Mentally, I was spiritually bankrupt. Um, so I fixed on them, and then recovery comes and goes. And life got in the way of recovery. So I started doing life. I started being a productive member of society. I got here, when I got clean, I was on welfare. I was doing this, I was doing that. But I started bettering myself, and I became, I'm a school bus driver, and I started doing, good things, and growing in my career. And then I started working on steps again, and life was going good. I started being this seed, and I started sponsoring. I don't talk about sponsoring because with those two deaths that had happened, it was because of their disease that they died. And so I was afraid to get close to anybody, um, to allow that kind of hurt anymore. So that was something that's taken me many years to get over. Because if I don't get close, I won't get hurt. So, and that's one thing that's been stopping me in another area of my recovery. But um, I worked some more steps, and I worked individual 4 steps. And actually, I worked 1 through 5 individually on those husbands and on those people who died of the disease. And it helped. And then I had to look at my part and any amends that I owed along the way and some things. And through all this, I met a normie. Um, he's now my husband, and who accepted all of this and all its craziness, which is great. So, and then, like I said, there were some things going on in life was happening, and I've had a lot of life on life's terms moments. And I I have yet to find a good excuse to get loaded, even though numb sounds good sometimes. But one of the things that I've learned is I need to learn how to get out of my own way. You know, this program has taught me to step aside and let the process happen. I haven't always done it with style and grace, and I haven't always done it with compassion and understanding, and not compassion and understanding for others, but compassion and understanding for myself. You know, and understanding of self is the hardest thing. One of the things in Living Clean on page 189 is some of the hardest things to get free of may be our own beliefs about ourselves and our limitations. I have limited myself so many times that it's just unimaginable because I'm the ADD dyslexic child who passed high school in special needs program. I rode in the short bus. I drive it now, but I used to ride in the short bus. And I've limited myself in some of the things that I can do because of that disease telling me I'm not enough. You're not smart, you're dumb, you're stupid, all those nasty, ugly words that come out of people's mouths. But in the last few years, in 2015, I had been on my sixth or seventh set of steps and I was doing really well. And then my bonus daughter from my second marriage showed up with her two older boys and said she needed to get right. I said, okay, well, you've been to meetings with me, you know what to do. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, okay. And that was October. She left, came back. First time she left, she took my two older grandsons with her. And then I told her, don't you do that again. If you leave them here. And so 2 weeks before Christmas in 2016, she left and left her boys here with me. And we tried to talk and she went nuts and there was her drug use caused her to have schizophrenia and she's a very yeah, she lost her mind. And she never came back from that. So eventually CPS got involved and I'm living a good life and I'm doing good in my career. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I don't want to be a mom anymore. I've been a mom since I was 17. And so now I'm older and I didn't want to do it no more. But then it was either put them in the system, two special needs boys, and let them be separated or step up, even though I wasn't biologically their grandmother. I was always Nana. So we stepped up. Me and my at the time with boyfriend, we adopted the boys. But before that, uh, November 8th of 2016, my daughter, blood or not, she was my daughter, stepped in front of a moving vehicle and killed herself. And I had to tell a 9 and 12-year-old boy that they will not see their mother anymore. And they don't have fathers. So I had to do that again. And that broke me. Now, sometimes when we get broken, we can't put ourselves back together. But I had this program. So I had that foundation still. And I had buried myself to fix all these people and do this and do that. But this situation made it so I couldn't bury no more. I had to grow or die because I had packed my bag several times to go to the psych ward because I didn't want to no more. I didn't want to feel anything anymore. It was devastating to me. So I decided to grow. So I planted myself in my steps. And during this process, I've had the same sponsor since I got clean. I've been clean 29 years. I've had the same sponsor, and she has MS. And so there's some things happening there too, and that's okay. And so I tried sponsoring during this time since my daughter killed herself, and I tried doing some things, and it wasn't working, and I just didn't connect right. And then I had someone call me And I was like, I do not want to pick up this phone for this newcomer. And so glad I did. My higher power is funny because he'll put people in my life that you just really you don't think you're going to connect because, man, ah, I'm a lot. They're a lot. So we're going to be a lot together. It's not going to match. We meshed amazingly. Um, so when Cam asked me to talk, I called this friend of mine and I go, this is the topic. What do I do? And she's like, fear. And I'm like, fear. And I'm like, light bulb. I got what she was trying to say. When we fear, face everything and recover. And that's where we plant ourselves. Or we can have fear where we fuck everything and run. And that's where we bury ourselves. And I've done both in recovery. And these are cliches that have been around for as long as I know. And they're right. Um, this last event in my life with the death of my daughter made me have to face and truly look at self so I could blossom into the person I am today. And I would not have been able to become this person without all of those things happening. And today, I am not that dumb special needs child that I thought I was. And every time that comes up, I will definitely be able to say that no, this program has taught me that I'm more than what my disease says I am. This program taught me that when I stay grounded and connected and I water or feed or do whatever it give my recovery some sunlight in the steps and being a sponsor because I am a sponsor. I have one sponsee, which is okay. I don't need a million of them. Oh my God, I couldn't do that. I can barely handle myself most days. If I give of myself to my community, to those around me, that this program has taught me that if I take care of myself, I can freely give of myself and not have anything taken from me. And, people can look at me and think that, you know what, it's okay not to be okay sometimes too. And some days I'm not okay, and that's okay too. It's okay to be sad. And I forget that in recovery, that we think that we have to have all these great answers and miracles. One of the biggest struggles I've had lately with my recovery in the last few years is that um, I know how to get clean, but being clean with time is how do you stay there? How do you make it through the next doctor's appointment that tells you you're diabetic or you're this or you're that, or that you're getting old and the arthritis is kicking in and your husband has to have surgery on his shoulder or the life happening. How do you get to those life moments? Now, in the last year, I have done some things to better myself. I went to school in 2004 to become a state instructor in my job, which is it's a lot. It's a whole semester of college in 3 weeks. And I cried the whole time. I called my friends, I called my sponsor, I called my husband. Every single one of them made me cry because that disease, because I was in a place I could not go to a meeting. Um, there was no time, and literally, not even on the weekends, I could not do anything other than do this. And there was a lot of tears, a lot of crying, and a lot of that disease. You're not enough. You're stupid. You're dumb. You will never be able to do this. I passed it all. I aced like 3 of the 4 things. I got a A, but I aced A plus to everything else. I was like, yay. I'm an addict. I do way too much. Um, so I gave myself a raise, and with that, Uncle Sam took more money. We're not going to go down that. That's a whole other wah for me. But I've learned that I can do anything I put my mind to, within reason. You know, I have not gotten anything free from this program. Yes, I've had pink clouds and I still have not heard my head pop out of my ass. I don't know. That was a whole thing along. And I'm not the nice person that I present right now. Sometimes when it comes to recovery, I will tell you exactly how I feel, and this is what it is. And I'm sorry, and some of the things I might say, if I offend anybody, I'm sorry, but this is my truth. These are my recoveries, and I am. I have an amazing. I have a very small group of people that I am with and that I connect with. So it's really hard for me to. I gotta put my other earbud in to connect with people because I'm so afraid of getting hurt. So it's growing slowly again, and I don't know. I am a very grateful recovering addict. So here are my greats today, and I'm going to put these out there because I've planted myself, because I stopped burying me and I stopped trying to be what everybody else thought I should be. And because I've fed myself my recovery through the step work, and I am actually on my 10th set of steps, I believe. I I am actually pretty, for the most part, okay. Um, Now I'm coming up on another milestone, and I'm having some night terrors because of some things that have happened. So where I'm in my life, I've gotten a raise at work. I know my value. I know my worth. There was a job opportunity that came up in my work, and they wanted to pay me salary as much as I make now, hourly. And I said nope because it's a lot more responsibility. I'll stay hourly because so yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry I did not see the time. I thank you guys so much. One thing that one of my beautiful friend gave me was even the prettiest of flowers must first push through the dirt before they can bloom. Please keep pushing through the dirt so you can bloom. Thank you.